Welcome, welcome, welcome. What a great turnout. Look at all the little squares. This is fantastic. This is our June iteration of the monthly Innovative Club Advocacy Call. You all clearly found the link or you wouldn't be here. I think I've made everyone a co-host that needs to be made one. We can, for a change, and that's not a dig, we are able to recognize certain dignitaries that are able to make it on the call. I see that our illustrious director, Patrick Eakes, is with us. Welcome, Patrick. Our current RMC, Terry, do you claim the M since you're on the way out, or do you discount that and leave that for your success?
Oh, I'm officially an M.
Okay, all right. Just making
We-
sure. I didn't know if that was triggered right away or not.
Yeah,
So
I
welcome.
did this so well that I got a promotion.
Hey, anytime you get an extra letter, as long as it doesn't start with one of the bad letters, you take it, right? So welcome to you as well. Welcome to everybody. I'm not sure who, I mean, this is a wide variety. I see DGNs, I see past ICs and coordinators, I see current coordinators, I see executive committee members, I see DGEs. This is fabulous. Thank you all very much for being here.
And you got a director too.
I got him first. You were late. Sorry.
Okay.
But I wasn't going to point that out.
I'm on, but I'm on.
We're good to go. Thank you, everyone.
Taking my video and audio off.
All right, Rick. Since you're from my district, I'm going to mute you. There you go. Quick recap of the last call. Again, don't forget, you're always free to view the recordings of the past discussions. The links are shared with all of you in the recap emails that you ordinarily receive following each monthly call. And they can also be found in the ICA call playlist on the Rotary Zones 34-34 TV YouTube channel. I will put that link in the chat as we get started. And without going into any great detail, it's actually pretty simple to recap what we discussed last month. We talked about what it will take to seal the deal on those clubs in formation before the end of this current Rotary year, which we have 27 days left. And we also included some deadlines that were suggested by Patrick Longano as far as how far along you need to be by when in order to really make that trigger date of June the 30th to happen. And we're going to go over some of that again today as well once we get into some discussion. But for purposes of last week, we also talked about some of that new legislation, particularly 25-07, which passed by a vote of 305 to 171, reducing the number of charter members needed to form new clubs. It was reduced from 20 to 15. It's not my position to pass judgment, although I do have an opinion, as I'm sure all of you do, and we can have that conversation at a different time or at least continue it. We also talked about the forthcoming rollout of how to make this process that we all talk about monthly simpler for everyone involved with the new North American Club Creation Team. And I think we may touch a little bit on that again as well. But for purposes of this month, we want to talk about a few more immediate relevant items. Like I said, we've got 27 days left in this Rotary year. So if you plan to have an in-formation club in place and up and running by June 30th, I will impress upon you these deadlines that have been suggested be followed in order to make that happen. You've got to have gotten your buy-in by now for sure. And the recruiting needs to be complete with the charter member roster in place by June the 6th. Yes, 3 days from now. That's because really to see the trigger be pulled by June the 30th, your application needs to be in by the suggested date of June the 10th. That should give the powers that be enough time to get that switch flipped and you're up and running and your new numbers will graciously appear in this year's totals. And you'll never be accused of sandbagging. We also want to talk about, just generally speaking, what our team can do to help you get over that hump by June the 30th. If you've looked at the spreadsheet recently, and I know who you are if you haven't, there's a few districts that have a greater amount of clubs in formation than some of the others. And so as not to ambush any of those districts' ICAs, I reached out to them in advance of this call and asked if they would share with this group what they planned to get such a number turned from that yellow column to the green column. And this is in no particular order other than chronologic. So if we could, I would ask our zone ICA team member and district ICA from District 7305, Al DeLucia, to share what your intended path looks like in these just under 4 weeks time left. Al, I think I saw you come in. Yes, there you are. Sir, would you like to share some of those thoughts that you're having at this point?
I would love to, Sean. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, we have the in formation. We have a number of clubs in formation because there have been a number of clubs over the past number of months that have reached out to me and expressed interest in forming some type of innovative club, whether it's an impact club or a cause-based club. Those have been the two most popular types that we've been talking about. We've got the cause-based club, and we're looking at a standalone club with the University of Pittsburgh School of Public Health. We've got buy-in from the dean and dean emeritus and their staff about getting that up and running. Unfortunately, with the school year closing, the recruitment process has slowed down a little bit. I don't think we're going to be able to get this one pushed across the finish line by June 30th, but we're doing everything we can to try to make that happen. But that's going to be a cause-based club based around disease prevention and treatment, because it's the University of Pittsburgh School of Public Health. The Ambridge Club, which happens to be the club of our soon-to-be governor, Felicia Misek, is forming an impact club, and that's going to be around youth sports. As many of you might know, she's a coach for the boys track team at Ambridge High School, the boys football team. She's a defensive backs coach, and she's also a girls flag football team coach. So it's going to be based around youth sports, and we're hoping to get that one done within the next couple of weeks. But again, recruitment, we still need a few more members there. North Boroughs Club is looking at an impact club, but that one is a little further down the line. And then the others in our district are in the talking stages, getting the buy-in from their club and their boards. I don't know that any of those others are going to come to fruition before the end of this Rotary year, but hopefully very quickly in the next Rotary year. So we're working hard on 4 to 5 of those in process and in discussion with the other 5 or 6 of those in our district. And hopefully after our district conference, which is this weekend, we'll have a couple of more clubs interested in the formation of, or at least talking about forming, an innovative club. You're muted, Sean.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody have any questions for Al?
I have one. Hi, Al. It's
Hi,
Sarah
Sarah.
Wickstrom. For a cause-based club, does it have to stay like right there in that area? Like you've raised a subject that is pretty broad-based and applies to many different areas. So I was just wondering if it makes sense at all, I don't know, across some geographical areas that are near each other to band together in some of the causes. Have you seen that happen, or it doesn't?
I have not seen that happen, Sarah, but I know you're where you are in the University of West Virginia, and you're in the School of Public Health.
Yeah.
It would seem to me that that would be a perfect opportunity to combine those two, not only University of Pittsburgh School of Public Health, but also the West Virginia University School of Public Health, and maybe a working collaboration where you've got one larger companion club, or maybe the formation of 2 companion clubs, one from Pittsburgh and one from West Virginia. But I would think to start that there would be some some momentum if you had members from both schools working together.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And we're so close. I mean, we are right on the border and 70 miles up the road. So I just saw the comment. I don't know if that's really bringing us together. But yeah, I would be very interested. So I'll get a contact name from you and maybe I can reach out and just start a conversation.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great.
And
Thanks, Sarah.
Al, I'll make this suggestion to you. If you coming from where you are plan to have any relationship with us down here below the Mason-Dixon line, you're going to have to learn that it's West Virginia University, not the University of West Virginia.
As long as he wears
I-
the WVU logo and not Pitt, I'm happy.
I made that mistake the first time I said it, Sean, and I corrected myself
Yep.
with West Virginia University. That now or I could say something different, but I won't.
I appreciate that. If you'll learn to do that, I will agree to teach you the alternative lyrics to Sweet Caroline. Is that a deal?
I think I know. I think I know your version.
Okay, fair enough. Now, in all seriousness, you did say one thing that I want to point out before we move on to the next person that's planning to share, and that's that there's a chance that not all the yellow columned clubs will turn into green ones by July the 1st. What we need to be sure of is that when this transition happens from the end of this current Rotary year to the beginning of the next one, and we start to fill out that spreadsheet for Rotary year 25-26, don't forget about those that are currently yellow. They need to stay in the front of mind and certainly on that sheet somewhere so that we don't just start across the board with all zeros, because that's really not the case. July 1st is just an arbitrary billing date, folks. Our foot needs to be on the membership gas pedal all the time. June 30th and July 4th shouldn't feel any different when it comes to terms of wanting to promote membership and grow our clubs. So please don't let those slip through the cracks. Anything else for Al before we move on? Otherwise, chronologically, next on the hit list is District 7610. And I saw Barry standing in the woods somewhere. I'm not sure. There he is. Barry, do you want to be the person that speaks on how you're going to get over that proverbial hump?
Well, I can't say we're going to get over the hump, and I'm on my patio in front of my condo. So no woods here.
Okay.
But we have, I think the charter party is the first week in July, is a brand new traditional club with, I'm told, at least 40 new members. So Amelia Stanzel, our current district governor, has taken these people and I think corralled them into this club. It's down in Lake Anna, and they're having tonight, I think, a pub to be picnic, if I'm correctly stating it. I would say I wasn't invited, but it's 2 hours away from here, so it's okay. But we have a number of impact / satellite clubs in formation, but I guess these days a traditional club is about as innovative as you can get. So 40 members, 50 members, 60 members, they're going gangbusters. And it was a Rotary desert. There were no Rotarians within probably 30, 40 miles of there. So these are not members who are purloined from other clubs. I think there are only 2 older Rotarians, and everybody else is new. So that's something to be celebrated. That's what I have to say.
That is fantastic news. And I think, Patrick, did I see you saying it's really, what, 44? Is that right?
Yeah, we're working really hard on that right now.
That's fantastic.
Assisting Amelia and her group on it and trying to get it done, trying to turn it from yellow to green, sir.
That's great. Any questions for Barry?
Hey, just an additional comment. A lot of the members are husband-wife teams because that's a big retirement area down there. So that
Yep.
was one way they upped the membership, was getting the spouses involved too.
That's great.
And they're also sort of isolated. There's nothing else exciting happening there. So Rotary is the excitement for Lake Anna.
So there you go. The moral of that story is find a place to start a club where there's no other opportunities, and then you can't lose.
Hey, Sean, on that note, and I don't know the name of the tool, but the chief of staff for this year, he found a tool which identified basically Rotary deserts where it showed where the population of Rotarians were, where they weren't. And that's what allowed us to identify this area down near Lake Anna and got people going on it.
I think, as Terry just put in the chat, you may be referring to growrotary.org, which is an absolute treasure of a resource as far as being provided with a heat map, not only where Rotary is, but more importantly for the purposes that we talk about, like you said, Peter, where Rotary isn't. So
One
that's-
other thing, these are mostly retirees, but young retirees. So this is not a retirement community per se, and are probably people in their late 50s, early 60s.
Your age, right, Barry?
Say again?
Your age,
Yeah, my
right?
age.
Yeah.
My age plus.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Last but certainly not least, I believe I saw my friend Mark Milby on here. Mark, I know you've been out of pocket lately. I'm glad to see you're upright and on the call. If you had a chance to review my email and you're so willing, anything you'd like to share about what your intended path 27 days in 7620?
Well, first of all, I haven't been on for a little while. I've had a lot of medical concerns, and hopefully I'm over it now. And of course, that's also plagued some of my energies as well. But we're not going to push anything over the line for June 30th.
Well, but
So
on a positive note, you've got plenty of low-hanging fruit to start with
yeah,
after the first.
yeah, and like I say, last night, of course, there's been a lot of text messaging after last night's event. The 90 minutes of just pure solid stuff, and everybody's agreed. Somehow we got to get everybody, all the clubs in this district, to see what whoever didn't get to see it last night. In fact, I'm not even sure what clubs did get to see it. I still have to follow up with Mr. Vogel about that. So, but anyway, we hope that event and that recording will be a catalyst in trying to generate some new leads for this coming year. I contacted a club this morning, and he's a president-elect coming on as president, and he already told me, he says, that we definitely have to do something because the age of this club keeps going up. And I says, we've got to get some younger people because the older people are not going to attract any new people. So at least that's a new prospect for next year.
Well, and you've come to the right place to explore possibilities to make that happen as well.
Yeah.
I would like to think. Thank you for that. And again, Mark, I'm glad to see you for more than one reason. I appreciate you being here tonight. Now,
Yeah, it's good to be back after just some terrible health issues I've had.
Yep.
So, yep.
Anybody
Thanks.
have any questions for Mark or anybody else from 7620 on the call want to contribute? All right, then let's pivot a little bit. We've been talking for the last several minutes about ways we want to see things continue to happen if we're able. Our team member, Mike Walker, very wisely has invited some folks from one of our districts to share something that actually has now turned green, if you will. And it's based on some principles that we've heard about before. But when this story was shared with me, it showed me all the ways that we can continue to think outside the box and grow Rotary. So, Mike, I'll turn it over to you. You can bring these folks on, and they intend to share some very valuable information with us.
Thank you, Sean. So this is an exciting story of a club formation and definitely thinking out of the box. I first want to thank Marge Nordstrom, the district membership chair for 7710, for bringing it to my attention. She's been doing amazing work, this year. But we have on our call today Jeff Blass, who's the district governor of 7710, and Kathy Roadcup, who is, if I get this right, Kathy, for Goodwill of Southeastern North Carolina, the operations manager, who is also a Rotarian. And they're going to share a story about how they started a new Rotary Club inside Goodwill. And I'm already talking to our Charlotte Club about trying to duplicate their efforts. And there's a lot of potential for doing what they did. It's an exciting story. And Jeff and Kathy, you've got 10 minutes, and then we'll have about 5 minutes of questions. So it's all yours.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike. I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm very excited to introduce you to Kathy Roadcup, who is the vice president for Goodwill Industries, Eastern North Carolina. So they have pretty much Chapel Hill all the way east to the coast. They have 56 stores for Goodwill Industries there. She's a past president of another Rotary Club in our district, and she is the current president of the brand new Goodwill Club for Eastern North Carolina. But before I introduce you to her, who obviously has been the creator and the drive more than anybody by one of our bigger success stories this year, I want to kind of give you some backdrop and a quick kind of a background. It's actually started with Rotary Action Plan, because as we started a year, we try to find ways to expand our reach and increase our impact. And so we promoted the idea that we need to strengthen existing partnerships and create new ones with others. And others could be municipalities, chambers, profits and nonprofits, all kinds of community activity organizations. And we also said this could be at the district level and at the club level. And for the district level, I created a new chair for community partnerships. So this chair and I visited Kathy. And Kathy, of course, had been a longtime partner with us from wearing the Goodwill hat, because Goodwill has been a strong partner over the years. They've been a generous sponsor at events. They've actually managed like food collection drives for us when we've done some projects together. And their food insecurity is a big focus for them. They've also provided warehouse space and money in the past to help us store furniture that we provide to the Rotary Peace Fellows who were studying here at Duke and UNC's Rotary Peace Center. So we've had a long-term relationship with them. And so at the beginning of the year, we visited them and we talked about this focus on partnership and talked about how we can strengthen that partnership with Goodwill. And then a month later, we have our membership summit. And Sean, you were a presenter at that membership summit. And you talked a lot about thinking outside the box and how we need to find new ways to create new clubs. Well, all of that backdrop inspired Kathy to do something different. So she went to her boss, and I guess you could say the rest is history. So I'm going to turn over to Kathy Roadcup. And Kathy, you want to tell us how we got the new Goodwill Club for Eastern North Carolina started?
Absolutely. And thank you to everyone for inviting us here today. And thank you for those kind words, Jeff. If it's okay, I just have a couple of slides that I wanted to share with the group. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Sean, it's saying that it's sharing's not turned on for me. I just sent you a request.
I actually made you a co-host and I've since responded, so you should be able to do it now.
All righty, let's see what we can work out. All right, hopefully you can all see my screen. And so Jeff's exactly right. We attended the membership summit, and Sean actually was one of the presenters. And so I brought all that information back to our CEO, who was a former Rotarian, and our Goodwill organization and many Goodwill organizations have a very strong relationship, with Rotarians on staff, and we have as well over the years. So we were just talking about, what was shared with us at the membership summit, and we had a brainstorming session, as we do quite a bit, because we're always looking for ways to engage our employees, to figure out, okay, how can we, provide professional development, more training. And we also, as an organization, offer all of our employees 2 days of volunteer service paid per year. And so, but not many people use it because it's all well-intentioned, but people, I'll do it tomorrow or next week, or I'll find something I want to do. So we thought, why not join all those things together? And so the CEO, Chris Hash, came back to me that within 24 hours, it was the next morning. He came into my office, he closed the door, and he said, what do you think about us starting our own Rotary Club? Do you think Rotary would let us do that? Which of course I chuckled and I said, yes, but let me make a phone call just to make sure. And so my first phone call was to our district governor, Jeff Blass. And I said, Jeff, hey, can we do this? And he was like, yeah. And so then that started, our thought process behind it. We did use, there's just a wealth of resources and information on My Rotary. So I encourage anyone that's going to try to start a new club or just, think outside the box, but don't reinvent the wheel, I guess is what I'm saying. Go to My Rotary. There's just a wealth of information. And, there's the application, there's just a checklist, there's just everything you need to start a club. And I have to say, it was fairly easy. For us, it was easy because we had, committed Rotarians on staff, myself, and, we were really committed to the idea. So our story came up with the powerful idea, as all of you know, where we could share not just our employees, but our community partners so that we could unite around service above self and volunteering in our communities. We're Goodwill Industries of Eastern North Carolina. We're already out there. We're a mission-based company. And so Rotary's values, ethics, and mission really align closely with those of our company. So we formed our new Rotary Club, and our strategic plan expands the service to individuals and communities throughout Eastern North Carolina. So Goodwill Industries of Eastern North Carolina, we have 51 counties in Eastern North Carolina. So, we serve individuals in all of those areas already. So this was just a natural thing. It was just natural for us. So how we got here, this is our group. We chartered in November of 2024, and we started with 20 charter members and plus 8 honorary. So the 20 charter members were from our corporate office. It was very, I made a personal visit to each one of our, we have about 29 on staff. And so I visited their offices and spoke to them about Rotary and got commitments from 20 charter members. So we were able to start our club. And then we have we decided on a 4-phased rollout. So we started with our managers at our stores first. And then we rolled out in phase 2 to all of our hourly employees. And then phase 3 is community partners that we have. And we already have community partners that are approaching us about when they can join. We want to take care of phasing in our employees first. Community partners are next, and then community that would like to join us. And so currently through today, we have 43 members. We started out, we meet on the first and third Wednesdays of the month at 2 p.m. All of our meetings are during the workday, and we have both in-person and virtual options available because obviously we have 43 locations throughout Eastern North Carolina. And so we want people to be able to attend the meetings either in person at our corporate office or at their store locations. The company is paying all membership dues. So, so we basically have taken away all the objections that traditional clubs here of why prospective members cannot join Rotary. Cost, time, they can't fit it into their day when they're at work. So we've taken all those things away. And so we're making it all about service and all about coming to join us, having some fellowship fun and serving the communities that we're in. So we're extremely excited about that. We have just to give you some rough numbers, we have 236 employees that are eligible. We have 500 employees. So how we came up with that number is on this first go round, eligible employees have been with the company at least 1 year. And that way we wouldn't have people going in and out, of the club if somebody terminates or something like that. We do allow employees that leave the company, if they'd like to stay in our Rotary Club, they just have to pay their own dues. So for us, what's next? We're currently expanding our reach, rolling out membership to all of our employees and community partners as we discussed. I mentioned a second ago, we have 236 employees that are eligible. We've currently reached out to 82 employees through 2 different Discover Rotary events that we did online. So we basically have another 154 employees to go. And so one of the things that we learned, and I shared with the team, sometimes the Discover Rotary events can be a little bit too big for what we're doing. So we found that reaching smaller groups where people feel more comfortable asking questions and finding out a little bit more about Rotary has worked for us better. So I know it sounds like a daunting, 154 more people to go just to get the first round. It's really not. So what we're doing starting Thursday is, we basically have 43 facilities, but 42 have employees that are eligible. And we're just going to take smaller groups of 3 or 4 stores. We'll get people online meet people where they are. And so we'll get the folks on a Teams link, and then we'll roll out Rotary to them. And we can answer questions in more of a smaller format. And we'll have this done before the end of the year. I'm planning that we'll have it done probably by the end of next week. I know it sounds daunting, 154 more people, but we've already reached 82 with 2 meetings. So for us, that's not really a concern for us. So that's really it. I would highly recommend if this Rotary at Work model can work not just for nonprofits, but for-profit organizations as well. I highly recommend, obviously the CEO of our company came up with the idea, but, it's just a brainstorming session and conversation. So you need committed Rotarians that have a plan, that approach their executive team and lay it all out. Here's what we can do. Here's who we can reach. And there isn't too many organizations out there that aren't having these conversations around professional development, getting engaged employees. There just isn't. And so it's an easy, I want to say it's an easy sell, but you have to have the right people in the room. And for us, it really wasn't that difficult. And we're extremely excited about the possibilities. We've had we had our first meeting in January, which was our district governor visit. So we had a blast, and it's just been great. And like I said, it's for us, it was easier to get started. Probably the one thing that the one thing that we kind of had to think about, and we already knew in advance, was the name. Because obviously we couldn't use Goodwill Industries in the name of our Rotary Club. And so we just had to come up with a creative way. We had a plan A, B, and C, and we really only had to go to plan B. We worked with the folks at Rotary International, and they were just really helpful, and everybody was in our corner and championed us. So it's pretty cool. So
Could we open it up for some questions, Kathy?
Absolutely, I'd love that. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Who has, I don't see any hands up, so I'll ask the
Mike,
first
can I add
question.
one more thing before we open up for
Please,
questions?
please go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I want to add to what Kathy said about the club is beyond the fact that they've done this great job in rolling it out and trying to reach out to their employees and the goals being aligned with us, but they have done a great job in making sure that there's continuity. A lot of people have asked me, well, what happens if something happens to Kathy Road Cup? Well, the clubs still have this kind of ability to continue like this. And frankly, they've done a great job of continuity, filling club chair positions. They already have a president-elect and a president nominee named. Kathy, the president nominee just joined Rotary during this year with you guys?
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
But I mean,
I'm sorry. Our president-elect was in Rotary previously for a
But
short
not the
time.
present nominee, right?
Correct.
Right. But I was gonna say there's already that continuity. But anyway, I was just gonna say, there's no question that the future's bright, as she said in her slide. And yes, I think we're built for more success, and maybe haven't seen anything yet. So we're gonna open up for questions.
I'll just ask, Jeff, I understand that Rotary International is interested, and I guess there's going to be some more exposure for this. Can you explain that briefly?
Oh, yes. Arnold from Rotary Magazine has already reached out to myself and to Kathy and other members of Goodwill Industries, and they're trying to do a story on the whole concept. And from what I've been told, October may be the issue we'll see us being talked about with the Goodwill Club. Yep.
Awesome.
And interestingly enough, Mike, they found us. We did not reach out to them.
Really? Wow.
We had a couple of PR releases, and we have a PR firm, and they wrote a couple of have been posting a few things for us until we get our public image committee rolling. And actually,
I thought it might have been that Marge Nordstrom calling.
Well, that
it might have been Marge.
Yeah, could have been Marge. But it was interesting. Someone at RI, from what Arnie had mentioned to me, put a press release on his desk. So, and then thus he got a hold of us. And I thought that was really intriguing. So, we're hoping that, I'm sure it'll be a great article. And I hope it really allows people to start thinking about outside the box a little bit and thinking about what's possible.
Definitely. And there's definitely I hope a lot of people are thinking about ways and organizations, I'm thinking of Salvation Army and others that where their basic premise, like Goodwill, is doing good in the community, and that they're, kind of they're an excellent fit with Rotary already.
Absolutely.
So.
Mike, I don't know that I have a question, but I have an observation, and Kathy, please feel free to follow up on what it is that I think I heard, at least in part, what you said. And there are other people on this call that will appreciate this aspect of it before. When you did your thing in phases and you reached out to the managers first, and that all sounds so tactical. And I mean, I'm impressed by that. It wasn't, let's throw everything against the wall and see what sticks, and then we'll react accordingly. You had a plan and you followed it. Do you want to expand on any of that at all? Because I think that's consistent with how we build companion clubs, where there's that 4-step process that we've all heard about. And you developed your own specific to the circumstances you had. And my hat's off to you for doing that. Please, if you have anything else to share.
Absolutely, Sean. Thank you for that. Yes, we had to get started, and it started back with our charter members. We had to get started somewhere. And so we figured, okay, let's start our 20 charter members, easy to do at our corporate office. So we rolled it out to our corporate office. And then the next step was, okay, let's roll it out to the store managers, because we need them to facilitate the meeting with the hourly employees, because they're meeting us at the store manager office computer. The managers, whether they joined Rotary or not, they're going to be a key to helping us set the weekly, it's actually twice a month meetings. And so we rolled it out to the managers, and then the next step was the hourly employees. So we've had the 2 Discover Rotary events, and then now we're just we're still in phase 2, which is we want every hourly employee that's eligible. It's mandatory to hear about Rotary. It's totally voluntary to join, but everyone it'd be like sitting through a benefits webinar when you sign up for your employee benefits. This is an employee benefit if you choose to take advantage of it. And so that is the next step. And then this 3rd step is the community partners. And our 4th step is people in the community that would like to join us. And so we plan on finishing this Rotary year. We're going to have all the employees in place. And then starting in July, that's our next phase, which will be the community partners. And we have quite a few. So, and one thing about Goodwill Industries, and I'm trying to differentiate between the two. You know, we work with community partners and we provide grants to them. So in 2024, we provided $1.5 million in grants through 42 partner organizations. So we have a lot of community partners. We have a lot, and they're employees. So it's not just community partners, but anyone that works with them. And we've been talking this up. Our CEO goes out and talks with community partners. And, you know, he talks about Rotary and what we're doing, and we're getting a lot of positive feedback. We're giving people ideas. You know, when we went to the district learning assembly, pre-pets forum back in February, we had this really cool idea. Food insecurity, as Jeff mentioned, is incredibly important to us. And so we do roundup at our cash registers. I'm sure every one of us on the call has gone to a store and they say at the register, would you like to round up for fill in the blank? Well, 100% of our roundup goes to food insecurity. So we take that money and we go out and we purchase Food Lion food cards. And so, and also, you know, we provide funds to other organizations as well. But we took a food card, $25 food card, and passed it out to everybody that was attended the learning assembly. And we asked them, we don't want to know anything about this, you know, unless you want to tell us. We don't need names. We don't need, you know, anything other than go forth and do good things. And so if you know someone that's food insecure, here's, you know, even if you don't know someone, but you know, it's a total stranger, you could be changing their life. Here's a food card, somebody that's hungry. And, you know, more people came up to me during the break when we passed these out and said, I'm going to take this back to my club and I'm going to challenge everybody to meet it, to match it, and go forth and do that much more. So it was really a huge mission multiplier for us. And it really got the conversation going around food insecurity. So anyways, like I said, we're already in that space of, you know, our mission work. And so a lot of our employees, you know, are part of it every day. And so Rotary is just kind of a natural step for them. So we're looking forward to good things. Like I said, it's the next 2 weeks, we'll be talking to everyone we missed. And so we'll keep you all posted. You probably can see it maybe, but we'll keep you posted on how many new members we were able to get.
Awesome, Kathy. We've got a couple of 2 questions. I think 2 people have their hands up. Chris and Patrick, real quick, and then we'll move on.
Well,
Yeah,
I just wanted, mine was a statement. I just want to say, Kathy, bravo. I mean, that's incredible what you did. And I absolutely loved you saying the word sell. And some people shy away from that, but you sold your vision of what you wanted it to be. And, you know, everybody who's on this call that's married, you've done some selling yourself. So we all do it. And with you selling your vision on this thing, that's the absolutely appropriate word to do it. Bravo, really nice work. Congratulations.
So thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Jeff. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Chris Jones.
Chris, are you raising your hand?
I'm raising my hand. I wanted to ask a question, and it may have been answered and I missed it, but Kathy, just curious if you had a flyer that you would put out to the people in Goodwill to learn about Rotary, or what, you know, what were the bullet points of your value proposition that kept people interested in joining?
Absolutely. We sure did. And so what we did for the charter members, we put together just a very small, like 5 or 6 slides, just about Rotary and the power of Rotary, why people join. We included the 7 areas of focus, and we sent it out. I sent a thought-provoking letter that really I was pulled off of a lot of this information we have. And, you know, it was basically just asking people, and it was, you know, just about, do you envision yourself in you know, helping people? And you know, it was just really thought-provoking. A lot of people really reached out to me and said, I love your letter. And it was just, do you see yourself fitting in with this? And if so, you're cordially invited to attend our Rotary event and join our club. And I did a nice color invitation that I sent with it. And just it was just for the charter members, it was very easy. They just read it, they got the invitation, and they said, hey, it's, I'll join, sure. And then I personally went around to everybody's office and answered questions and talked to them about it. So the first charter members, we didn't have to, it was very easy. Now for the managers, they have email. So we had a couple of challenges. Managers have email, hourly employees do not, but they do provide personal emails. So that's a wonderful thing. But I sent a very similar slide deck out, information, invitation, invited them to a Discover Rotary event. And so that was our very first one. Everyone logged in. I sent, we do our meetings on Teams, and I was able to send everybody a link. And the reality is, I've been around the company 17 and a half years. So if you've been with the company longer than a month, I know your name, I know who you are, you know my name, you might know who I am, but we're very personable with people. And so everybody logged in, and Jeff and Marge did a really wonderful job on the Discover Rotary event. We brought people, Rotarians, that to tell their story and how they joined Rotary, why they stay, what projects they were engaged in, because projects and volunteering is incredibly important. That's what sells it. But at the end, when we talk to people, especially in a smaller group setting, you got to make the ask, hey, will you come and have fellowship and fun with us and serve our communities? We need you. Will you do it? You got to make the ask.
I think that's a good way to finish, Kathy. You have to make the ask, and so many people are afraid to make the ask. So again, thank you, and thank Jeff. That was amazing. I know there's going to be a lot of follow-up from this. You'll probably get a lot of people reaching out to you, which is the idea, and to percolate ideas amongst each other. So I'm going to turn it back over.
Mike, the last comment I'll make is, we're trying to build out our library of best practices. So some of those materials, Kathy, that you created, if you would share them with the team, that would be great. We can add them to our compendium of information.
Yep, awesome. Thank you.
We'd be glad to share. And if anyone would like to talk, just feel free to reach out to me. And you can certainly share my email address and phone number. So we'd love to chat and share our success.
Sean, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Yep. Thank you. That is just all so intentionally smart and thorough, and the buy-in. And Kathy, be careful what you ask for, because you might just get it. If you want to put your email in the chat, feel free to do that so people can reach out to you after the call.
That's fine. I would love to do that.
Thank you. Thank you all very much for that. With that said, I'd mentioned at the beginning of the call that I was able to identify a dignitary whose schedule has not exactly been conducive to being able to participate in our monthly calls lately. He's now in the middle of a very personal and endeared hiatus, but still took the time to join us this evening. So Patrick, I'd love to open the floor to you to make any comments or observations, or just give us a good end of the year cheer.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sean. And Kathy, thank you for that presentation. Just incredible. Hearing the beginning of this call, very encouraged by the number of clubs that are in process. Some are going to convert this year, some are going to convert next year, but membership is a year-round game. So I'm very encouraged to hear all of the activity there. For those of you who are going to be submitting applications, either for satellites or for standalones, just keep in mind the last 45 days of the Rotary year, half of all clubs for the year are formed. So our club and district support people are just cranking right now, trying to keep up with the applications coming in. So everything you can do to create a very clean application and to provide them as much time as possible, I know will help them out. I heard mention of the Grow Rotary tool, which continues to be a great tool to be able to identify not just where there are and are not Rotary clubs, but you can look at things like population density, income levels, things like that that will help you even narrow down where you can really put your efforts into identifying some Rotary deserts, if you will. Love to hear, Kathy, that you were using the Discover Rotary model as an opportunity to introduce Rotary to folks. I think that's great, and I'm so excited about a corporate-based club. It's not the first in our zone, but I will tell you that the first corporate-based model club in our zone is no longer around. This club with Goodwill is going to be around. And it's not lost on me at all. I saw Terry's email today. District 7710 right now is plus 26 against the success track. And this Goodwill Club is a big part of that. There's no doubt about that. Jeff, you can do the math on where the district would be without the engine that this club is providing. So as we come to the end of the year, and you know, we're about 4 weeks out from wrapping up this year, just want to remind you that we cannot afford to take any time off when it comes to membership. Life is always happening. There are people who are going to leave, not because they want to, but because life is happening. And it's kind of like rust. It's still accumulating while we sleep. So we have to always be on our games when it comes to membership. And that means creating the best clubs that we can, the best environments we can, the most welcoming environments that we can. And also looking for these opportunities to create new clubs. I am very excited about the effort that Patrick Longano and Chris Jones are leading with the North American Club Creation Team. It's kind of nice that Zone 33 will get to share some of its secret sauce across the rest of the continent. And for those of you who will be in Calgary, there will be a big breakout session there that'll kind of be the official rollout of this whole effort. So if you're going to be in Calgary, we invite you to come to that. Patrick, when is Bearded Patrick? When is that breakout again?
It is Tuesday, Hall E, room 1. It's the big breakout room. It's at 2:30 in the afternoon.
2:30 in the afternoon, Tuesday in Calgary. So
It's going to be a show.
Be there with all the cool kids. So other than that, let me just say thank you. I know that everybody who's on this call is invested in Rotary membership and especially in club creation. There's no doubt you're helping improve our results, and more than that, you're introducing Rotary to many people who might not have the opportunity to be a part of this organization otherwise. So thank you for that, and thank you for a great year of hard work, and let's finish strong and get geared up for 25-26.
Outstanding. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, everybody that contributed to the call. I see that we've got 7 minutes shy of an hour. So unless anybody has anything for the benefit of the group, we just need to do a little bit of wrapping up and some reminding. If you haven't put it on your calendar yet, this is a suggestion that you do. The new club performance sheet where you share all your goals and progress is due on June the 20th. So if you haven't looked at it lately, I would ask that you go back, review that information, update it as you will, and don't forget to check the box in A that indicates to all of us that you have done that, so that soon thereafter I can compile all that stuff and record it, report it, send it to Patrick, who continues to share that with the directors of the board of our organization, so that they can see how things can be done. And it leads to all these other great opportunities like Patrick had just mentioned. And if you have a question about any of that or anything else that has to do with what the kinds of things we talk about, don't feel like you have to wait for a month to ask it. Remember, you could always reach out to your district's associated team member, because any and all of us are willing to attend and participate in your meetings if you need. If you plan to propose changes, we're glad to help you explore those. Don't feel like you have to wait. We're readily available. So with that said, just a few reminders for your calendar. Can everybody see my screen? Yes?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. To start with, Well, it's almost complete. Imagine the first bullet says Monday, June 9th. That will be that will be the next iteration of the membership action plan known as MAP at 5:30, as always. The theme for this month is greatest hits. The MAP team is going to bring together the most effective and creative membership tips shared throughout the past webinars this year. The strategies that sparked engagement, boosted retention, and attracted new members. So whether you've joined the MAP call every month or if you're new to its webinars, this is one session that you won't want to miss. And if you're asking yourself who should attend those, the easy answer is everyone and anyone, but particularly the district governor line, assistant or area governors, your club and district membership chairs, club presidents, and presidents-elect, really anyone that is interested in growing Rotary. Next, you see the week after that, June the 16th, is the monthly DMC call at 5 o'clock. Friday, June 20th, as I mentioned earlier, is the deadline for your new numbers. The next Zoom formation, led by our director, will be Monday, July the 7th at 1 o'clock. And our incoming Rotary membership coordinator, Chris Justice, is going to try something a little new. And on Monday, July the 21st, he is going to have what is planned to be the first of combined monthly calls with the DMCs and the ICAs. I would encourage all of you to attend that. You would be very wise to do so. But don't forget that on July the 8th, before that, we still plan to have a standalone ICA call for at least the time being and still be able to respect Chris's and his wishes to have the combined one as well. So with that said, I will remind all of you that today, June the 3rd, is National Egg Day. Don't know if we have any egg fans out there or not. It's also National Leave the Office Early Day, which didn't happen for some of us since we're just now having this call, of course. And today is National Repeat Day. Today is National Egg Day. Today is National Leave the Office Early Day. Today is National Repeat Day.
What was that again, Sean?
Today is National Egg Day. Today, well, you get it. You understand. Anyway, just
Gotcha.
wanted to share those momentous occasions with all of you. I thank you all for participating on the call. We are 3 minutes shy of an hour. Mission accomplished. What a great conversation this was for all of us to be able to have tonight. I appreciate you all showing up. If I don't see you in Calgary, I'll see you for sure during one of those bulleted upcoming events. Please take care. Do your best to grow Rotary in the meantime. Thank you all for being here. See you later. See you soon.
Thank you, Jeff and Kathy.